Hello, how are you guys? Oh my goodness, it's been so long. I'm so sorry. We've had a lot going on here in the fam over the last couple of weeks, and I just haven't been able to film. Now I did have the second part of that, the cabinet where I redid the second cabinet and the wall, and I started editing it and I absolutely hated it. So what we're gonna do today, I'm just gonna show you some updates, and I will show you that cabinet and just kind of explain to you what I liked, what I didn't like, and kind of how it's going. For those of you who are new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Nikki. This is my channel, Plants, Pots, and Whatnots. And for my GFPs, my lovely gluns for punishment who keep coming back for more, it is amazing to see you as always. Mwah! I love you to bits. Okay, so we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna show you some updates. I got a new plant to show you. I got some cool new growth to show you. And I'll show you the cabinet situation. Okay, let's mosey. Okay, as usual, we're gonna start on this side. So this is my new kind of planty corner, and all of the plants over here are growing so incredibly fast that I just can't keep up with them. So the one that you see right in the front here is my, this is crazy. This is my Syngonium chia pens. There. Now, I don't know how long you've been with me, but if you've been with me a while, you remember that this plant had gotten probably a bit taller than this. So I am 5'7", and this plant is about exactly my height. Right now we have a new leaf coming out right here, and I chopped this plant, goodness guys, when was it? Maybe a year ago, maybe not quite. And this was just, I think this was the main plant. So the one, like the mother plant that I cut from, and it has grown this fast, this tall already. It's crazy. If you have one of these, you probably know it grows crazy fast. It grows off, this is the longest I can get these bamboo stakes, and it is just grown off the top. So now I have to figure out another situation for it. But there's that one. Also a little update on my elbow cuttings. So this is the mother plant. So this was the bottom part of the plant where I cut off. It has just put out this new leaf. It's so stinking pretty. And then this is one of the cuttings that I planted in with it. It's got a new leaf on the way out right there, which is super exciting. This Syngonium, so this is one that I planted, and I don't think I showed you guys, but this is an Albo Syngonium who is loving this patio door light in here. And in the bottom of these, I put, I suck at Calathea. I put 2 Calathea in the bottom here, and they were doing really well, but maybe this is too much light for them. I don't know. I'm so over Calathea. It's not even funny. Anyways, we're going to move on. Here we have my Epipremnum pinnatum albo, and I know in the last video I got talking about the Epipremnum and then stuck it in the fan, and then I started talking about Monstera, and I think I kind of grouped these in a little bit with Monstera because of how hardy they are, because of how fast they grow, and I think I might have confused a few people. I apologize for that. This is not a Monstera, it is an Epipremnum, but they are very similar to a Monstera. So I guess my brain, you know. Anyway, it's doing really, really well. I got rid of all of the mealybugs. I currently, knock on wood, do not have a single pest on any of my plants other than fungus gnats, because you know they'll just be there anyways. And this thing is doing so well. It has put out, so this was the leaf that came out after I repotted it and treated it, and then it's already putting out this new one, which is just beautiful. The variegation on this plant is just unbelievable. I'm obsessed with this plant, and it's rooted right into the pole, and it's just kind of growing its way around there. It's really, really cool. We also have in the back there the ginormous Philodendron which is a Melanochrysum gloriosum cross. Beautiful, beautiful hybrid. It has a huge new leaf right there, which unfortunately is kind of facing the back, which isn't ideal, but it is what it is. She's gonna have to come down. She's on a little, if you can see it right, where's my finger? Right there. She's up on a little box. So I'm gonna have to probably pull her down because she is very close to the ceiling at this point. Beside that, we have so this, hold on, let me see if I can get in there. This is a Squamiferum. Whoops. There we go. See if you can see that. It's getting absolutely massive. In this pot, there is also a Philodendron Florida Ghost. There's a new leaf coming here. So I've got both of them growing in the same large, I think it's a 18-inch pot, if I'm not mistaken. And they seem to be doing really well together. Both of their care requirements are very similar, which is why I put them both in there. The next thing I want to show you is this guy. Now, last time you saw this Choco, she wasn't doing the best because I had her in too high of light. So I've moved her to just sitting on the corner of my table here, and she kind of gets like ambient light from the door as well as this grow light. And look at that new leaf. It is beautiful. It's not faded out. It's just gorgeous. And I'll give you a shot of the back there because that's where the real action is, right? Look how beautiful. Anyway, so if you are having issues with any of your philodendron, really, they don't require like super high light. So if you're finding that they're not looking that rich green lush look like they should, maybe bump the light down a little bit. They're not like high light loving plants. And I'd known this about this one, but I didn't have another spot for it. So it just stayed on my shelf under a grow light for far too long. And I finally stopped procrastinating and I moved her, but she is just so, so pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let's pop into my living room here. So I'm going to insert a clip here of what I had to do to my Gloriosum. So this is my Gloriosum. She looks a little weird. She's got a new leaf right here that's a little bit smaller than some of the previous ones. I had to cut a lot of the leaves off of this plant. She had thrips, you know, like everything seemed to have had last year. And it really took a round out of her. But I have it under control now. She is completely pest free. And if you guys remember, I was having issues because she's in this pot, right? Oh, she's in this pot and she had grown over the edge. So I'll go ahead and insert the clip right now of how I fixed this. So I've had this poor Gloriosum sitting on my table, and if we need the table, we just have moved it over to the counter and back, and it's kind of a pain. And I've been really racking my brain as to how to do this because I don't want to lose this portion of the plant. Like if I cut the part off that I want, which is basically from here down, it's not going to root fast enough to sustain the size of leaves that are on it. Look at that poor friggin' thing. We got rid of the thrips though, so you know, that's a bonus, but not without damage. So anyway, I digress. So if I cut it and then just propagate it on its own without rooting it first, it's not going to be able to sustain the leaves that are on it. So I can't just cut it. I could air layer it, but this thing grows. As you can see, it's got another new leaf and it's growing so fast that even that, I don't know if it would be fast enough, you know what I mean? Time to cut it. So one of my subscribers, and I apologize, I can't remember who it was, but if it was you, thank you so much. But by the way, ignore this mess. We're rearranging and stuff right now. Not that it's always not a mess every time you guys see it, but oh God. Anyway, so one of my subscribers suggested to put a pot with soil underneath this side, and then it can just kind of root into that. And then once it's rooted, we can go ahead and cut it. And that, you know, is probably the best case scenario. But my problem was, I don't have this space. Like, this is a ginormous plant. Like, this plant has got about a 5-foot wingspan and it's about 4 feet tall. So it's not like it's something I can tuck in a corner. So with all of the rearranging that I've done, here's my thoughts. Jordan and I were putting our heads together this morning. Now I've taken my big plants. This was where I called it my Floridas, and they have been moved over somewhere else now. So if you'll remember, there's my Plowmanii in here, and then I had cut a couple Pastazanums in here. Now, these are small enough that I can reroot them in a smaller pot and allow them to grow properly like they should. So here's my thoughts. This Plowmanii is growing on this side this way. What if I moved this, put my Gloriosum here, set the Stolon on top, and just let it grow back behind there? Now, it's not a long-term solution because these two plants are going to get absolutely massive, but it's long enough that that should give it a really nice root system. And then I could possibly, you know, take the plow out of there or something at a later date. So I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and move this. I'm going to bring it over, and then I'll kind of show you guys what I come up with. If this is even going to work, I don't know, because I think that Stolon on the Gloriosum comes down pretty far. So I'm hoping that I can get it up and over the top of here without breaking anything. We'll see. All right, wish me luck. Okay, so we've got the pot over here, and it is on a little bit of a lean. I'm not sure if you can tell, because the Stolon is so, like, I can move the whole pot with this. It is solid. So we've got it placed where I would like to keep it. But obviously there's, like, I didn't fill this up all the way because I actually ran out of soil when I was filling this. So I think I'm going to take some soil and just backfill this part a little bit more. And I think that's going to work. So it looks kind of weird. I'm going to cut that leaf off because it's gross. And I think we might have figured out a solution, at least for the time being. Anyway, so let me get that backfilled, and then I'll kind of show you the final result, and hopefully that will work. So thank you very much to whoever that was that gave me that suggestion. Okay, here's what I ended up with. So let me show you the soil. So I just kind of piled the soil up a little around there, and I think that is going to work perfectly. You can see there's the tip of the new growth point coming right there. And I gave it a good water, so there's some nice moisture for those roots to grow down into. I chopped off 4 or 5, actually, of the old leaves that were basically destroyed. The other ones aren't great. There's some damage there. Little damage there. And then I just kind of repositioned them on their little green poles. They'll straighten out a little. It's not the prettiest setup, but sometimes it's function over... What's that? What's that term? What? Function over fashion? What's that term? Practicality over prettiness? I don't know what it is. Anyways, there's some term, but anyway, that's basically what we're looking at here. And I think that's going to be great for this guy. And then more than likely, once the Gloriosum gets to the end here, a lot of the time they'll turn on their own, or you can train them to turn, and I can get it to grow back this way. And at that point, I'll take the Plowmanii out of there and give it its own pot. For now, I think that's going to work. And the bonus is it's not on our table and it's not on our counter, right, honey?
That's right.
Yeah. So that's the situation. She ain't pretty, but she's functional. Okay, let's continue on. So I think the plan worked. And it's been here now for, I think, a little over a month. Now, I haven't checked. I don't want to disrupt it too much. I haven't checked to see if there's roots growing underneath there. But I can report that we do have a new leaf, which isn't surprising. This plant grows new leaves constantly. So, I mean, it's not going to be able to stay in here forever. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. This is the only issue. I love crawlers. You know, your Pastazanum, your Mammae, the Gloriosum. But you run into the problem of not having the, you know, horizontal space to grow plants like that. So I did find this planter at a local nursery. And I mean, it's long enough, I guess, but for that size of Gloriosum, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how people do crawlers when they get really big. I guess maybe they cut them, I don't know, but I don't want to, so I'm trying to figure that all out. In the front here, we have one of my plow manii. It's doing really well. It's got a new leaf on the way out right here, which is not focusing. There we go. And it really seems to be doing really well in here, at least for now anyway, until it reaches the end. And then I have no space for it either. But thank you so much to those of you who did recommend that I kind of set it on top of another pot with some soil, because I think that is the ideal solution. And then it kind of like roots itself on this side of the stolon. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's move along. Oh, I want to show you how this guy's doing because this is doing so well. Look at this beauty. So this is the variegated Alocasia Friedeck, and it's just spitting out leaf after leaf after leaf, and it's just so beautiful. This is one of those plants, if you don't know, that I've been after for so long, and it did not disappoint. It's a gorgeous plant. I love watching every new leaf come out, and the variegation on this particular plant is beautiful, and I love it. Okay, I think that's all that I wanted to show you in the cabinet. Let's move over here. Okay, I wanted to show you guys this because this just turned out really nicely and it looks so cute and I can't not share it. Oh, and my luxuriance is getting a new leaf. Oh, look at that. She's gonna, there we go. Anyway, so this is one of my Philodendron Gloriosum. Now I cut this plant down because it had thrips horribly. So I cut it all down. I soaked it with a insecticidal soap solution, literally dunked it in the sink and drowned them all. And it is bouncing back. So there is 4 plants or 3. I think there's 3 in this pot, and they're all doing so well. They're so beautiful. Like, oh, I just love Gloriosum. I actually have, spoiler alert, I went in on an import order and they will be coming in closer to the end of May. So it'll be like a birthday gift for me. I'm so excited to show you guys what I got. Like, so excited. Some stuff that I never thought I would have. So make sure that you have subscribed and have your notifications on, because believe me, you're not going to want to miss that. Anyway, I have a variation of this plant coming in, and it is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in my life. It's amazing. Anyway, that's that. We got a new leaf on the variegated Genmanii here. For those of you who haven't seen this one, I'll insert a photo of what they look like when they're mature, or when they're a lot bigger. This one is still obviously fairly small, but they're just an absolutely stunning plant, and you don't see them very often. All right, let's move over to my other cabinet and I'll explain the absolute crap show. Okay, so when I built this background, I thought it would be something that's easy, low maintenance. I didn't have to like construct this big thing. It was quick to put together. Now, I knew that keeping it wet or moist was going to be a struggle. I didn't realize how much of a struggle. But there's kind of a caveat to that. So, usually I have to wet this moss every 2 to 3 days. Now, I will say that largely depends on what plants that you put in it. So I have, Paula has given me some more Hoya. So let's start at the top actually, because this is the original. It's so messy looking, which I also hate. It makes me twitch. So I've definitely got to do something about that. It just looks unorganized and messy and I don't like it. So what I think I might do is take some of the smaller Hoya cuttings that I have down here and put them up here, and then take some of these larger ones and just kind of like trail them up the back on the bottom. I don't know. Anyway, regardless, I'm not a super fan of how it looks. But what I will say is that this has been amazing for the plants that are in here, because the humidity, despite me having the door open, it being 55 right now, the humidity has been great because of the moss staying moist a lot. And also the Hoyas in here have, like, I don't want to say I'm getting into Hoyas again because I'm really not, but I will say I am really impressed with how the Hoyas I have in here have done. So I've got new leaves on Hoya that I haven't seen new leaves on, and I can't even tell you how long. We have ones that are coloring up. Like, look how, can you see that? Hopefully. This one is just absolutely beautiful. Let's see if I can bend them down. Look at that beautiful coloring. It's really hard to see. I'm sorry, guys. So pretty. Of course, the Walleniana is always beautiful. And things are just thriving in here. I have new leaves. You can see these shiny new leaves. I have a cute little one growing right here. I also have my Myopii in here who really loves this higher humidity. It's doing really, really well. This is a beautiful plant that I completely forgot to show you, I think. Yeah, I don't think I showed you this. So this is a plant that Paula gave me. She bought it a while ago. So it is called Anthurium Raven's Heart. And I'm trying to remember what the mix is. I think it's a Papilanium and Ace of Spades. I'll put it on the bottom because I forget. Anyway, so she gave me a stump from her main plant and it is growing. It has 2 growth points. So there's these, this is a brand new leaf right here. And I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but the shine on these leaves is absolutely incredible. And then on the other side, we have another growth point with another nice big leaf and another one growing in over here who grew in kind of weird. Beautiful plant. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Thank you, Paula. So down here, we have a bunch of Hoya cuttings that I'm going to forget the name of. There is this little guy here, which is super cute. And these are Hoyas that get some, oh, this is dry. Ugh. Don't do this unless you want to keep watering it consistently. Anyway, so these Hoyas, because Hoyas don't mind drying out, they have done really well in here. So if you're a Hoya person and you have a cabinet and you want to do a wall like this, definitely do it for Hoyas because they can take it. Whereas things like this Piper cutting that I put on here didn't do so well. I have this Syngonium on here as well, and it had some roots, and I've been trying to keep this part moist enough that it starts to grow, but so far we haven't seen anything yet. This one's doing really well because it's potted and it's starting to grow up the back here. This is all new growth right here. This is my Philodendron mottled Fitzcarlo, I believe it's called, and it's doing really well in here. We have, I think this is a Hoya Nuna. We have this little cutie here. Look at that. It reminds me of Christmas. I love it. And then we have this little oh my goodness, Hoya Serpens, sorry. And then we have this really pretty one. I love the dark green. It's almost black. And we've got this one, the color up so well. So anyway, all of the Hoyas in this cabinet are doing fantastically. So moral of the story, don't put any tropicals on this. Hoyas will do much, much better. And anyway, at the bottom here, we have some plants that are kicking it. So kicking it like good thing, kicking, not like kicking the bucket. So we have this Anthurium pedata radiatum, has this beautiful new leaf growing. I love this plant so much. We have one of my elbow cuttings here. And then this plant, who hasn't done anything since I got it, is finally growing a new leaf. If you can see that. So that's really, really exciting. So that's basically the cabinet. I'm probably, to be honest with you, not going to leave it with this background. It's very likely that I'm going to end up eventually doing another spray foam background just because I like it a lot better. I just wanted to do something different with this, and this isn't working for me. I'm just not in love with it. Anyway, enough about the cabinet. Let's shut that up so we get some humidity built back up in there. And I'll show you a couple more things and then I'll let you go. Okay, so I didn't really ever end up showing you guys the redo of the front window. So this is what it ended up looking like. It is extremely backlit. I am so sorry. I'll see if I can include some photos when it's not so backlit, but you kind of get the idea. I've got the bench across the front here and a lot of my larger plants. Now, most of my plants now are getting to the point where I'm upping them to anywhere between a 10 and like 15 inch pot because everything is just growing like so fast and so big. Which is the struggle. I mean, that's what I wanted, as I wanted all of these big, huge, beautiful statement floor plants, right? But then, you know, you're like, where am I going to put them all? So this is the best thing I could figure out from now. So in each corner, I have some sort of table situation. So I have a table over here, and that is holding my beautifully huge Thai constellation. And then in front of that, I got two of these tri holder. I don't know. I got these from Ikea. It's like a plant stand, but it holds 3 plants, like a staggered, like layered, you know. So on that, I have my Philodendron esmeraldense, which is growing a new leaf right here. We have my Philodendron Dark Lord, which I'm still struggling to get larger leaves on, so that one's a work in progress. Behind here we have obviously my Monstera esqueleto, and it just unfurled this new leaf right here. So I'm excited for that. It's the first new leaf after it recovered from thrips and mealybugs. So that's very exciting. Something kind of interesting that I wanted to show you guys also is, so this is my Philodendron Florida Bronze, which is a cross between a Philodendron Florida and a Philodendron Black Cardinal. And so the leaves normally look similar to this, but they have bigger lobes, kind of like this one, right? And all of the other past leaves have been like that. And then it threw out this one, which is like a huge Black Cardinal leaf, which I was really confused about. And then this is the most recent leaf, which the lobes still aren't normal for the size of the leaves. You can see it's a good size leaf, but it's very non-proportioned. So I haven't seen a whole lot of these plants mature, but it looks like the plant tries to struggle between which parent it wants to be. Let me know if you guys have one of these and if you experienced that. I'm really curious to know. A new plant that I got that I am so excited about is this one. So this is a Philodendron Dean McDowell, which is a cross between a Philodendron pastizanum and a Philodendron Gloriosum. They are beautiful plants. They've been on my list for a while, and Paula messaged me last weekend and she's like, "Hey Nikki, I'm at this plant store. They have one of these. It's $150. I said, yes, please. Make a long story long. I got it home. This is the newest leaf, which unfortunately got torn at the nursery somehow. But it's a super healthy plant, obviously quite large. These leaves are good size, and it's got a new, it's really hard, backlit, oh my goodness. So there's a new leaf coming in there already, and I cannot wait to see it because they are such a beautiful plant and I've wanted one for so long. Can't wait. Super excited about that. We have a new leaf coming out here on my variegated Philodendron giganteum. Look at that variegation. Oh, focus on the right thing. Look how beautiful. Oh, so nice. So that one has been doing really well since I put it into this larger pot, got it some nice fresh soil. So I'm really happy about that. We also have this Jose Bono, who is just throwing out these absolutely massive leaves now. We have this new one on its way out that I'm sure will be a nice size as well. I love the variegation on that. I haven't found that they have, the variegation seems to be extremely stable on these. If you have one, go ahead and confirm that for me, but I haven't had any experiences with losing any sort of variegation. We also have a new beautiful leaf on my variegated Bird of Paradise, and when it was unfurling, the top unfurled first, or the bottom unfurled first, and it unfortunately ripped. So I had to use a warm cloth around the top to have this piece let go. And unfortunately, that's kind of what happened. But it's still beautiful and it's huge and gorgeous, and I love it. What else do we have in here? This is the newest leaf on my Philodendron Snowdrift, and I did post a photo on Instagram. I'll see if I can find it, of when this first came out. It was so nice and light colored. It was like creamy white and it had these beautiful pink veins. But this one is definitely getting to be a good size as well. Really happy about that. This guy is tricky. So this is a Philodendron Periso Verde, and this is its newest leaf. I can't figure out what the problem is. It's just the leaves keep getting smaller. It's supported. It's on a pole. It's secure. I don't know what it wants from me, but obviously, I don't know. If you have one of these and have any tips and tricks, please go ahead and throw them down in the comments, because I've seen what these plants can look like, and that's what I want. What else do I have to show you? Oh, something really cool. So you've probably seen before. So this is a Philodendron White Princess. So there's a couple plants in here. There's a smaller one at the back. Now you guys have probably seen this before, but this is the first time this has happened to one of mine. And look at this. Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's kind of like a pink and white princess, like a tricolor. Now these will do this occasionally. This is not like any sort of once in a lifetime anomaly, but I'm just excited because it hasn't happened to me before. My Philodendron Florida Beauty is starting to bounce back. We have a new leaf. Let's see if I can zoom in here. We have a new leaf growing there, and I had it right in this front window, which gets nice light. It's under, well, it was kind of off to the side, so like right here from this light. But it wasn't until I put it under this light that that new growth point started to straighten out and thicken up. So it just needed, I think, a little bit more light, and I think hopefully now it's going to bounce back and start growing big, beautiful variegated leaves again. I hope. Okay, I have taken too much of your time already, so I will go ahead and leave it there. I will attempt to try to more frequently upload now that things have kind of settled back down again. I hope you're not too upset with me. I apologize. But you know, things happen, life and all that jazz. Things happen. What can you do? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's little mess of updates and new plants, etc. Again, I'm sorry that I have been a little sporadic as far as uploading goes, but you can follow me over on Instagram. I tend to post more over there because it's a lot quicker and easier for me to just post little updates. So if you want to keep tabs on me, and you know, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you want to do that, you can go to my Instagram account and follow me over there. I would love to have you as a part of my Instagram family as well. I will go ahead and say goodbye today. I hope you have an amazing and wonderful day, night, week, month, and year. I love y'all to bitty bits, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.